What do you do when the person you trusted most shatters your world with a single betrayal? For me, Anna Grayson, the answer was simple: leave. I stood in our bedroom, the air thick with the scent of his cologne and my heartbreak, shoving clothes into a suitcase. The photographs on the dresser, our wedding, our first home, our daughter's 5th birthday, stared back like ghosts of a life I thought was real. Each frame mocked me, whispering lies of love and loyalty. My hands trembled as I zipped the bag shut, the sound final, like a door slamming on 10 years of marriage. I'd found the texts 3 days ago. Late at night, when Mark was asleep, his phone buzzed on the nightstand. Curiosity, not suspicion, led me to glance at the screen. A name I didn't recognize, Clara, followed by words that burned into my soul. Last night was incredible. When can I see you again? My heart plummeted, a stone sinking into a cold, dark sea. I scrolled, each message a fresh cut. Hotel receipts, flirty emojis, promises of secrecy. Mark, my Mark, the man who kissed me goodnight and swore he'd never hurt me, had been living a double life for months. I didn't confront him. Not at first. I let the anger simmer, a slow boil that consumed every quiet moment. I watched him laugh with our daughter, Lily, at breakfast, his smile as warm as ever. I watched him leave for work, briefcase in hand, as if nothing had changed. But everything had. The trust we'd built, brick by brick, had crumbled into dust. By the 3rd day, I couldn't breathe in our house anymore. The walls felt like they were closing in, suffocating me with memories of a love that no longer existed. So, I decided to leave. Not just the house, but him. All of him. That morning, as Lily played at a friend's house, I packed. The plan was simple: I'd take Lily, move to my sister's place in Boston, and start over. I didn't care about the logistics, money, lawyers, custody. I just needed out. Mark was at work, or so I thought, his absence giving me the space to unravel our life without his excuses. I dragged the suitcase downstairs, my footsteps echoing in the empty house. The front door was in sight when I heard a muffled voice from the study. I froze. Mark wasn't supposed to be home. My pulse quickened, anger flaring anew. Was he with her? Had he brought Clara here, to our home? I set the suitcase down, my hands clenching into fists, and crept toward the study. The door was ajar, and I pressed myself against the wall, listening. His voice was low, urgent, not the smooth charm he used with me or, presumably, with her. "I can't keep doing this," he said. "It's tearing me apart." My stomach twisted. Was he breaking it off with Clara? Or was this another lie, another performance? I leaned closer, my breath shallow, as another voice responded, a man's voice, gravelly and unfamiliar. "You don't have a choice, Mark. You owe us. If you back out now, we'll ruin you. And Anna." My name hit like a slap. Who was this man? What did he mean, ruin me? My mind raced, piecing together fragments of a puzzle I didn't know existed. I peeked through the crack in the door. Mark sat at his desk, head in his hands, his face pale and drawn. Across from him was a man I'd never seen, mid-50s, broad-shouldered, with a scar slicing across his left eyebrow. He wore a dark suit, but it wasn't the polished kind Mark's colleagues favored. This man looked dangerous, like someone who belonged in a gritty crime novel, not my suburban life. "You think I want this?" Mark snapped, his voice cracking. "I did what you asked. I got you the files. I'm done." "Files? What files? Mark worked in corporate finance, crunching numbers for a tech firm. It was boring, predictable work, so I thought. The man leaned forward, his voice a low growl. You're done when I say you're done. Those accounts you funneled? They're tied to you now. You try to run, and the feds will be knocking. Or worse, Anna and Lily will pay for your mistakes. My knees buckled. I gripped the wall to steady myself, my anger replaced by a chilling fear. This wasn't about an affair. Clara wasn't some mistress, she was a cover, a piece of a larger, darker scheme. Mark wasn't cheating, was trapped. But why? And how had he kept this from me? I should have walked away, grabbed my suitcase, and run. But I couldn't. Not with Lily's name hanging in the air like a threat. I pushed the door open, my voice trembling but firm. What the hell is going on? Mark's head shot up, his eyes wide with panic. The man turned, his gaze cold and calculating, but he didn't flinch. Anna, Mark stammered, standing. You shouldn't be here. Clearly, I said, my voice sharp despite the fear clawing at my chest. Who is he, Mark? And what does he mean about Lily? The man smirked, leaning back in his chair. You've got a brave one, Mark. Too bad you didn't tell her the truth. He stood, towering over me, and I fought the urge to step back. I'm Victor. And your husband's been helping me with a little business venture. Shut up, Victor, Mark growled, moving between us. Anna, please, go. I'll explain later. No, I said, my voice steady now. You'll explain now. Both of you. Victor chuckled, a sound that sent shivers down my spine. Fine. Tell her, Mark. Tell her how you got in over your head. Mark's shoulders slumped, and he sank back into his chair. The story spilled out in halting, painful bursts. 6 months ago, he'd been approached by Victor, who worked for a shadowy group tied to offshore accounts. They needed someone with Mark's access to launder money through his firm's systems. At first, he refused, but they threatened Lily photos of her at school, her ballet class, her friend's house. To protect us, Mark agreed, creating a fake affair with Clara to explain his late nights and secretive calls. Every step, he'd been trying to keep us safe, but the deeper he went, the harder it was to escape. I listened, my heart torn between rage and pity. He'd lied, yes, but not for the reasons I'd thought. He'd carried this alone, drowning in guilt and fear. Victor watched us, his expression unreadable, but I saw the truth in Mark's eyes. The man I loved was still there, fighting for us in a way I hadn't understood. I was leaving you, I admitted, my voice breaking. I thought you'd betrayed me. Mark reached for my hand, his touch warm and desperate. I'm so sorry, Anna. I didn't know how to tell you without putting you in danger. Victor cleared his throat, his patience thinning. Touching, but we're not done. You've got one last job, Mark. Then you're free. No, I said before Mark could respond. He's out. You want something, deal with me. Victor raised an eyebrow, amused. You're in no position to negotiate. Maybe not, I said, my mind racing. But I know enough now. And I'm not afraid to go to the police. It was a bluff, but it landed. Victor's smirk faded, and for the first time, he looked uncertain. Mark squeezed my hand, a silent thank you. We weren't out of this yet, but we were together, really together for the first time in months. That night, we made a plan. Mark would gather evidence of Victor's operation, everything he'd been forced to do. I'd contact a friend from college, now an FBI agent, and we'd turn the tables. It was risky, but it was our only shot at freedom. As we sat in the dark, Lily asleep upstairs, I realized something. Love isn't just trust or passion. It's standing side by side in the worst moments, choosing to fight even when you're terrified. The road ahead would be hard legal battles, maybe worse. But as I looked at Mark, his eyes heavy with regret but bright with determination, I knew we'd face it together. My anger had led me to the edge of leaving, but a single overheard secret had changed it all. Sometimes, the truth doesn't set you free, it gives you something worth fighting for.